tutorial. Today I am unpacking the Strength card. It's associated philosophy. It's actually got two. The philosophies of Abhaya, or peace, and the philosophy of fearlessness. With this card, you'll note there are two poses on this card. You have Simhasana, or lion face pose, which is the primary pose for the card, and then you have a secondary pose on the card, which is Shanti Virabhadrasana, or peaceful warrior pose. I loved putting this card together. I knew straight away when I started associating philosophies and poses to the cards, the Strength card was one of the first to come about, because the poses for the card just instantly matched and made sense, and the philosophies matched and made sense. So the Strength card came about pretty early on. Me actually taking the photo of the poses for the card, specifically Simhasana, and putting the markup for that card together was the epitome of experiencing the Strength card. If you are a yoga teacher, or if you know any yoga teachers, ask them about Simhasana and the horrendous feeling of awkwardness that comes with doing this pose. Like, it is a very awkward feeling. Like, you need to have a huge amount of courage and self-confidence to get in that pose in front of other people, or to be willing to get into that pose in front of other people, which I love that aspect of that pose, because when you do get into that pose and you do experience that pose, there's this fearlessness that really drives up from the Manipura chakra, from the sacral chakra, that just kind of like pushes up and out, and you just have this fierce that comes out of you, and you're like, oh, I feel so strong and powerful. So if you can push past the I feel really stupid doing this, and you actually get into the pose and you really ground yourself in it, wow, confidence, courage, yes, inner strength, everything that the Strength card is based around. Where Shanti Virabhadrasana comes in, so if you're familiar with the imagery of traditional Smith-Waite cards, you have the woman and the lion, and rather the woman kind of being dominating the lion, but in a very gentle, very soft, very nurturing way. She's not like yanking his mouth open and being like, what did you have for breakfast? She's in control of that beast, but peacefully, gently. It's a type of authority that forms more as a form of presence that you carry. It's a way that you carry yourself. It's not I'm here and I'm in charge and I'm yanking this lion's mouth open. It's like you're in it, and you are it, and you emulate it, and that is strength. The lion, Simhasana, your peak pose, that is courage. The courage to have that strength. And also the courage to deal with situations where you do need to be fierce, and you do need to be forceful, and you do need to be like, no, that's not how things go. This is how things go. Where you do need to be the lion. And what Shanti Virabhadrasana, the peaceful warrior pose, coming into that backward, kind of heart-opening stance, what that does is it brings that reminder of, yes, be fierce, be strong, be courageous, but be gentle about it. Don't be like, no, that's not how it is. Be like, that's just not the way that it goes. It doesn't work like that. It is a gentle form of authority that carries so much more strength behind it than things like aggressiveness and assertiveness. So when we're looking to explore the Strength card, we're not looking to become hardcore authoritarian, like we're in charge and we're large and we're this and that and the next thing. Because remember, we're not looking to explore any of this from a perspective of ego. We're looking to explore this from a perspective of authenticity. So getting into a pose like Simhasana and having the courage to do a pose like Simhasana and really just embrace that fierce aspect of yourself and really feel what that fierceness feels like. Feel that power, feel that prana flowing through your body as you really just let out that ha, and know and memorize what that physically feels like. So when you go into situations where you are a little bit scared or you do need a little bit more confidence or courage, you can bring yourself physically back into that space and be like, I got this. Bring in that element of softness, so you're not like, yes, I got this, let's dominate this. You're like, yes, I've got this. I'm feeling strong about this. I'm feeling like I'm grounded in this. I'm capable of this. So working with the strength card, throw ego out the window. Ego is non-existent in the strength card. Fierceness when we need to be, but that sense of gentleness that kind of tames that inner beast, that, if you will, the animalistic side of yourself. That is what that Shanti Virabhadrasana, that secondary pose, that in your traditional imagery, that feminine figure, that's what that represents, is that be assertive, but don't be ugly about it. Okay? You don't need to be mean. So it's about finding that balance between having courage and having strength and having authority within who you are, being strong in that, and really allowing that to rise up from the Manipura chakra and allowing it to activate on the throat chakra. So you really are just speaking your truth and you're speaking from that place of strength, but it's backed by that secondary aspect of gentleness, compassion, understanding, softness. Bring these two worlds together and you have a very specific type of presence, a way of carrying yourself, where people just naturally respect you. You know, they're not terrified of you because you're like, I'm going to mess you up if you don't follow my ways. You know, they just have a natural, like, hey, I really respect this person for, just the way that they carry themselves. And I'm sure you've met people like that in your life, where there's just something about the way that they do carry themselves. It's like a charisma, but there's no ego attached to it. There's no I amness attached to it. It's just they're just being. And that comes from that balance of, I'm strong and I'm fierce in who I am, and I'm willing to stand my ground in who I am, but I'm not gonna, burn this to the ground, while I'm expressing my authority. I'm gonna be gently forceful about it. So working with the strength card and working with the two poses that come with the strength card is very much a two-sided practice, if you will, where you're really practicing getting into that fierce, like strong, like, yes, I feel empowered and I know what empowerment feels like in my physical body, but I also know how to be gentle and open. So opening that heart chakra space and allowing that to kind of come forward and do what it needs to. And bringing those things together, and how can you take that stable marrying of these two parts into your day-to-day life, physically practicing the poses and feeling the heart openness of Shanti Virabhadrasana, the peacefulness that comes with being in Shanti Virabhadrasana. They don't call it peaceful warrior pose for nothing. Like, it really is something tranquil about being in that pose. And feel that fierceness, really like let that roar out, really like open that throat chakra and allow yourself to fully express yourself. Maybe wait till everyone's left the house so that you feel comfortable to do it for the first time. And embrace the awkwardness that comes with practicing that pose like Simhasana. I took so many shots of me doing that pose. I'm just like, oh my God, I feel so weird. And I'm like, hey, this is what this card is all about. It's about embracing that weirdness and that awkward feeling, but doing it regardless, because that is what courage is. You can be terrified as hell, but you're still going to do it anyway, because that is fearlessness. That is what we're looking to embrace by marrying these two aspects together, is to become so strong in yourself and so comfortable in yourself that you are fearless. You're like, well, cool, man's chasing me in the woods. It's a tree over there. I'm just going to climb that. Sweet. You're not letting life stress you out or throw you off your game. You're just walking through with this presence of natural, calm strength. It really is that simple. That is the strength card, the practice of the two poses. Practice those two poses. They awkward as Simhasana is a beautiful pose. Once you've done it and you're like, wow, this actually feels amazing, get into it and practice that peaceful stance of Shanti Virabhadrasana. It's such a beautiful pose to practice. I love practicing that pose because it really is just, as you kind of step back into it, there's this feeling of like openness and calm, like I can breathe, there's space. So practice those poses, practice being in the state of tranquil, calm strength and courageousness despite the awkwardness, and allow yourself to experience being in that state in your day-to-day life, and look for places in your life where you want to express a little bit more confidence, you want to express a little bit more courage. Maybe you do want to ask for a promotion, or maybe you want to ask the girl of your dreams to marry you, but you're terrified as sin and you're just like, I'm too scared. Step into Simhasana, find that empowerment and go put a ring on it. Find that sense of confidence, find where you need to build that confidence. And when you're doing these poses and practicing them, think about asking for that promotion, think about asking that person to marry you, think about these instances and experiences and really physically put your body in that space, feel energetically what it feels like to be in that space, and practicing it consistently, because practice makes better, not perfect, because we can never be perfect. Practice makes better, and when we become better, it becomes second nature, it becomes a way of being, and eventually we're just naturally feeling that sense of empowerment, and that's what we're looking to get to. So unpack the strength card, look at the places where you're looking to cultivate a bit more courage and a bit more strength. Practice these two poses, they really are beautiful. And as always, please do leave your comments, your thoughts, and I'll catch you in the next Yogic Tarot tutorial.